Hello everyone, what's happening? It's Richard Purnell here. How you all doing? I hope you're doing well. I don't know what this is, to be honest with you, but I hope you're doing well with it. So, first and foremost, I just want to say real quickly, I apologize for the lack of episodes of comics these past few days. Work has been incredibly hectic, a lot of people have been taking off, and I've been having to cover a lot of shifts, and basically, I have been incredibly busy and tired, so that explains why there's been a lack of episodes of comics. I'm not complaining about it because I said yes to everything and I'm happy to help whatever the situation is, so. But to fill the void, especially last week, I had uploaded 2 skit videos, which I haven't done in a while, and they're both hilarious, so if you haven't seen them, linked down below. And I guess if you really need some sort of push or something like that to check out one of these skits, here's a little clip from the one I wrote, the newest one. I can't wait a little bit, alright? I'm giving you 3 minutes to finish up whatever the hell you're doing.
Alright, don't be so pushy.
3 minutes, Sean. What are you doing in there?
Don't worry about it.
So yes, once again, the skits are down below. Links are, check them out. I really hope you like them. I think they're hilarious. So anyways, as far as what I wanted to do for this episode of comics you're watching right now, I had 3 different topics in mind. And those 3 different topics were either to review Thor the Dark World, the Man of Steel Blu-ray, or Batman Arkham Origins. I thought I'd just review all 3 if you don't mind. And of those 3 things, I felt the thing that deserves top billing, like the thing that deserves to be the title, probably should be Batman Arkham Origins, because, it's a big game. It's going to be something that a lot of people are discussing, plus a friend of mine had requested that I review this game, so this is going to be the big top dollar item. So it's for you, man. Also, the Man of Steel Blu-ray review is for you as well, because I know how much you love that movie. So I guess I'll start this video by giving you my review of the Man of Steel Blu-ray, which I hold in my hands right here. And actually, if you notice, this is the Steelbook for Man of Steel, which I thought was incredibly appropriate, so I bought it. So, at this point, if you don't remember what my thoughts are on Man of Steel, my initial reaction was I thought it was good but flawed. But through multiple viewings in theaters and at home now, I've actually grown to like the movie a lot more, as opposed to everybody else in the world. However, and this is what I genuinely think, even if you did not like Man of Steel, you have to admit that this Blu-ray is pretty freaking fantastic. First of all, as far as the transfer goes from, film to Blu-ray, this is excellent. The colors are just pop out. The details are much more prevalent, much more, in your face, and it's just beautiful. The sound quality is beyond what I could have comprehended. It's incredible. And honestly, I've always felt that Warner Brothers has made the best Blu-rays of all the Blu-rays I've ever owned. Warner Brothers and Disney. Everybody else, it's kind of either or And as far as special features go, there's tons of awesome special features, including the 75th anniversary animated short that Bruce Timm and Zack Snyder did together, which is awesome. The only bad spot about this Blu-ray is that there's a random special feature for The Hobbit. I've seen it in the past, but I was hoping it wouldn't return, but unfortunately it did. All that being said, if you are a fan of Man of Steel, this is totally worth your time. Get this Blu-ray. It's fantastic. Next up, I'll review Thor the Dark World for a little bit. How about that? So Thor the Dark World is a sequel to the first Thor film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's also a sequel to the Avengers, just like Iron Man 3 was. So Thor the Dark World is definitely entertaining. It's so much fun, it's hilarious, it's action-packed, it's beautiful, the production design is incredible, and it's just an incredibly fun movie. That being said, I 100% feel like the entire movie is entertainment for the sake of entertainment. Like, there's no real, purpose for it to exist. There's no real emotional kick to the film. There's not really any character evolution. It really is just a movie to watch, to have fun watching, and that's kind of it. I do genuinely feel the film was emotionally hollow. The only real dramatic moments, the only real good, character work and, the parts where I really was engaged with the characters and the story, and not just sitting there going, oh look, they're swinging hammers and making jokes, were the scenes when Thor and Loki were together. I think if they had done that for the entire movie, like a Thor and Loki team up, that would have been the movie right there. That would have been fantastic. So if I guess I had to rate it, I'd probably give it like a, in retrospect, I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5. I mean, I like the movie, but it's not enough for me. And finally, the big Granddaddy Marshall review for Christian I'm doing is Batman Arkham Origins. Bam! So Batman Arkham Origins, which this time around is done completely by Warner Brothers Games, Rocksteady had nothing to do with it, is a prequel to the first 2 Arkham games, Asylum and Arkham City. And the storyline for the game is set 2 years within Batman's career and 5 years before the events of Arkham Asylum, and it's Christmas Eve. Being Christmas Eve, this means it's the time for giving gifts, and one villain in Gotham City named Black Mask decides to give the gift of $50 million to any assassin that can deliver a dead Batman to Black Mask. And so this is basically the first of 3 of Batman's worst nights of his career. But what makes the night even worse is the Joker shows up in a very cool fashion. And so Batman not only has to try to defeat these crazy assassins like Bane and Deathstroke and Firefly, but he also has to try to defeat the Joker, whom he's never truthfully faced ever. He's never faced a villain like that, so it makes for good character work. Also, just like every other game, the Batman Arkham Origins game includes all the features that you've come to love and expect from the previous Arkham games, like the challenge modes, character trophies, multiple costumes, and all that fun stuff. But the newest feature in the Arkham Origins game is the addition of multiplayer. So just like every other fan, when it came to Batman Arkham Origins, because it did not include Rocksteady Games, because Rocksteady Games had nothing to do with this, I was massively skeptical. But thankfully I am here to say that with a few flaws, I can happily say Batman Arkham Origins is another great installment of the Batman Arkham franchise. First off, the story in the game is actually pretty cool. This time around it's penned by the Assassin's Creed guys and not Paul Dini, but even so, the Assassin's Creed guys do a pretty decent job in telling the first adventure that Batman's ever been on in the Arkham universe. There's a lot of cool character moments, there's a lot of great twists and turns, and I mean, they do a relatively good job. I mean, it's not as strong as the Paul Dini stories, but they do a relatively good job with the storyline. Also, the voice cast in the game is actually pretty incredible. Specifically, Troy Baker is the Joker. Troy Baker, oh my god, that guy is a rising star in the video game world, isn't he? Gameplay-wise, this game features all the gameplay and the awesome stuff that you've come to expect from the previous Arkham games, just like all the little special features and whatnot. You know, the free-flow combat is back, all the gadgets, all that stuff is intact, and that is awesome. I mean, they could have easily messed it all up and gave us like a really crappy gameplay and all that stuff, but they didn't. They kept it, and that's good. Also, the amount of detail and everything they did to Gotham City is just as good as we've come to expect. So, I mean, with great graphics and great gameplay still intact, where does the problems lie that I have with this game? Well, it just feels way too familiar, to be honest with you. I mean, it just seems like the developers just saw what happened in Arkham City and were like, okay, let's just copy that and put it in this, but give it all the different storylines and stuff. Like, I honestly do think that it just was copy and paste, and it just feels really lazy and way too familiar when you're playing the game. So I'm happy they didn't mess with the most amazing aspects of the Batman games, but I'm bummed that they didn't do a little bit more. And I think the reason why they didn't do as much with the campaign stuff is because they added the new edition of multiplayer, because they probably were focusing so much on that multiplayer that they kind of lost focus on everything else in the main game. And I mean, that was the reason why Rocksteady didn't include multiplayer in Arkham City, because they really wanted to put all their focus on that and just not even bother with multiplayer. And, you know, speaking on the multiplayer in Arkham Origins, it's pretty cool, but only like half. I mean, basically with the multiplayer, you either play as a criminal or you play as a hero, and if you're a criminal, you're either fighting for the team with the Jokers or you're fighting for the team of the Banes. And if you're a hero, you're either Batman or Robin, and you're trying to take down the criminals from both gangs. And it's fun to play as a hero, especially when you take down some other kid on the internet, because, I mean, that's a lot cooler than just taking out a computer program. But when you're playing as a criminal, it's just kind of generic, you know, multiplayer, third-person shooter stuff. It's not all that exciting. All this being said, at the end of the day, if you're a fan of the Arkham games, I totally say check this game out. It's a lot of fun. It's got a great story, and I had genuine fun playing the game. But I do think that it's not a perfect game, and they could have done so much more. But I do like what we got out of it. So I guess in the comment section below, what did you think of Batman Arkham Origins? Are you still playing it? Have you finished it? What are your overall thoughts on the whole thing? And as per usual, don't forget to like this video. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, directorscutradio.com, and Tumblr, and Vine if you can. Links are all down below. Also follow Carter on the Marvel Cinematic Universe channel. Link is down below to that as well. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like what you see, and favorite the video because I like it when you do that. And I will see you guys next time with a brand new video. Bye!